Friends, my name is Hutch, and I make videos and put them on the internet, and I am quitting gaming on YouTube. I want to get this out of the way first. The tone and the substance of this channel is going to be focused on politics and cultural discussions 100% moving forward. Those of you guys who follow my streams or follow me on Twitter know my politics well. I've never made any kind of effort to hide them, even back in the day during the Respawn days. But many of you guys subscribed to this channel really early on because of Call of Duty and video games, and I just want to give you the opportunity to leave now if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to see videos of me speaking from a left-wing perspective on politics and whatever, then I just want to say, despite our differences, I am truly grateful for every opportunity that you guys helped to give me throughout the years and the life that you've afforded me still to this day. I can never repay that debt. And I deeply appreciate what you guys have done for me. My life has changed quite a bit in the last, I'm gonna say 10 or so years. I met my fiance about 10 years ago, and I've been with her for ever since that time. I lost my sister back in 2020, and that just changed so much of the kind of person that I am. I feel like I've become almost a totally different person since that time. I did not deal with that grief very well in the beginning, and so I ended up leaning far too much on substances, alcohol, and just about 18 months ago, I quit all of that. I started talking to a therapist. I got on some medication that totally changed my life, and now for the first time basically in my adult life, I can say that I'm fairly healthy. I'm at a healthy weight for the first time ever. If you guys remember seeing videos of me back in 2009, I looked very gaunt, very skinny. I was 6'3", 135 pounds, and I'm 6'3", 200 pounds now. This is the first time literally ever I've been at a healthy weight. I get enough sleep. I have a good work-life balance. Things are just different for me. Another one of those things that have changed in my life recently is just the fact that I am not invested in video games in the way that I used to be, period, end up. I love video games. I still play video games all the time. I love big open world games like Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk I've played through at least 4 times. Red Dead Redemption 2 I've played at least 3 times. I'm playing through Star Wars Outlaws now, so I'm never gonna stop playing games. It's just I don't have any desire to do gaming content beyond short clips on Twitter. And if you guys have followed me on other platforms like Twitch and Twitter, you would know that I have become very much engaged in political discussions, cultural discussions for the better part of 8 years, basically since Trump emerged into the political space. Now, it should also be said that I have always been interested in this sort of a thing. I don't even think I particularly made any efforts to hide that in earlier videos, even going back as far as 2010, making videos about how I thought it was silly that gay marriage wasn't legal federally at the time. I remember discussing the Occupy movement in 2011. I remember talking to you guys about how historians like Chomsky and Zinn really changed my entire perspective of being an American and being interested in politics. It's just that over the last 8 years, it's taken more of a focus. It's taken more of a priority of focus on like the content side of things. And so that's also been reflected in the numbers. And so in the last like 3 years, typically when I go live and it's some sort of like a political discussion, especially if it's like a hot button issue, then the viewership is, you know, pretty good usually. And now these days, when I go live playing a new single player game that I'm really excited about, like God of War Ragnarok or the like, the views go like way down. And so part of this is motivated by simply the fact that I'm just not as interested in games, but then the other part of it is just kind of like being a responsible content creator. And I have to go where the numbers are. And right now, there's way more people interested on the live side of things, and on Twitter, there's way more people interested in politics or my political takes or whatever than my gaming takes. It's also just a very different vibe for me now. Like I just got back from COD Next. If I sound like a little nasally, it's because I got a little bug from that event, but I went to COD Next in DC. And the COD events are like a good litmus test for me to sort of gauge where I'm at on the scene. And it used to be the case that when I went to a Call of Duty event, I would know 99 to 100% of the people there. And now when I go to COD events, I know maybe 5%, literally 5%, and the rest are young, 20 to 25 TikTokers, Zoomers, super hungry. And it's just a totally different vibe. The long story short there is that I feel old when I go to these events now. And it's just not the same thing. It's not the same emotional experience. It's just, I don't feel grateful in the way that I probably should be for these kinds of opportunities anymore. And it's just, the whole thing has changed for me. As I mentioned before, I've found a little bit of success doing this like shift into politics and cultural stuff. And so I've decided that moving forward on this channel, that's what this channel is going to be primarily focused on. I've hired an editor who will act as the channel manager. He is going to edit the videos, upload the videos, do the tags, the titles, the thumbnails, the shorts, etc., etc. And he's going to keep all of the ad revenue for the first little bit while we're kind of building the channel up. And it's just meant to serve as a resource for people who are interested in the content that I cover on the streams, but they miss the streams and they want to see a more concise, sort of highlighted version of what I'm doing. There's a lot of political creators in the space at this point. There is certainly a meta that's come to be the thing now, and we're going to be doing that moving forward. Just to give you a sort of sense of like where I'm at politically, I have always identified as left-wing for my entire adult life. As soon as I became politically conscious, I identified as left-wing. I've never identified with conservative principles ever at any point in my life. But I will say that back in the day, I was way more left-wing than I am now in terms of a lot of different things. Not necessarily the case that my policy preferences have drastically changed. It's just I look at politics and political power through a totally different lens now. So if you have no idea what kind of content you're gonna get from me, I would probably be considered center left by sort of like the internet standards, but I'm probably well to the left of the median voter. For example, I look at a country like Sweden and I look at their robust welfare state and social safety nets, and I just salivate. I look at things like 18 months paternity leave, free public college for citizens there, free healthcare, or tax subsidized healthcare rather. These are the kind of things that I would imagine for or hope for in this country. And these are the kind of things that I'm gonna try to push for with my platform. I also value victory almost above anything else. So like, it doesn't matter what kind of policy positions you have. If you don't win elections, then none of that matters. And so even if I identify as being more left-wing than probably the median voter is, I'm still very pragmatic in this, in the sense that if I lived in like a purple state, I would have no problem voting for like a moderate Democrat over a Republican. I'm also doing a weekly podcast with Pondering Politics, Pisco, and Econoboy. It's called Live and Learn. We usually do it on Wednesdays at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 East Coast time. So that's another thing I've been getting into. I stream on Twitch, usually Sunday through Thursday. Sometimes I also stream on Friday. And you guys should expect to see new videos on this channel covering hot button topics every single day. The goal is eventually to have like 2 or 3 videos going up every single day. So I want to close by saying this is not goodbye. To those of you who are not interested in politics whatsoever, this is goodbye. And I just want to reiterate that I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you've done for me across my journey on the internet and in life. I especially can't thank you guys enough for the people who donated to my sister's GoFundMe when she was really, really sick. You provided a crucial lifeline to her widower and her son. That's been a huge benefit to their lives still to this day. And there's nothing I can say to you that can properly convey my gratitude and thanks for you guys who did that. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'm going to sign off from this video. If you guys made it this long, thank you so much for sticking around and still checking on this channel. And yeah, left trigger that inbox and we're going to start these uploads tomorrow. I'm out of here.